All right, you know, one of my favorite people to visit when I'm behind the camera at these events is SoCal Suspension, Eric Connor, and his son Zach. The people who drive the Ducky Racing Camberg-built Ranger. But today, Eric, over there, actually brought out Vivian. This thing is so badass. It's been down getting worked on for a while, but he actually got it out. It's not complete yet. It's still getting some wiring done. So let's see if we can pull him aside and talk to him about the truck and get a quick update. Eric, what's up, man?
What's up?
You can't get away from me, huh? Three weekends in a row?
3 weekends of car show stuff, which I'm not normally a big fan of, but you got to do it sometimes.
It's nice to take a break, huh?
Yeah.
Like you've had local events recently. You don't have to drive all the way out to races, which is nice. Saving a little bit of money there.
And you get to meet and greet a lot of people, meet people you know didn't know, and you get to see the truck in person, which is cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of the truck, it's been down for quite some time getting rebuilt, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. It's been like a up and down mission, you know what I mean? Like, we got it done in a fast time frame, 6 or 7 months, and then had a little hiccup. Engine had an issue, so had to go back to the drawing board, new engine, get that rebuilt by Robert Maruzzi. And at the same time, we figured might as well do some upgrades and get like more like racing stuff on it, like, you know, horns and you know, Parker pumpers, a push bar, new bumper, more shock tuning, just to get it more dialed for what I want to do with it.
Yeah, you want to give us a quick little walk around, show us some of the stuff? Show us some of your favorite parts of the truck.
Favorite part is, first, you know, Ball Designs came on board. We used to have KCs, and I just created a good relationship with Ball Designs and just love their lights, love the people there. So all new Ball Designs, redid the grill, lights inside the grill. I used to have the radiator in the back of the Tundra, if you remember, so now I got a front mount radiator, which keeps it so cool. And we also have the steam vents going to the new oil cooler up top, which is a new add-on. So I have an engine oil cooler also, which before this thing had a little trouble with heat, and now it's like amazing, 160, 180 on temps all the time, which is actually cold now. So that's a great thing. If you look at the truck now from when it was a Tundra, the only thing left from the Tundra is the front bulkhead, and it still has 2.5 feet of stock Tundra frame down there. But other than that, every tube chassis tube from back is all new by Morgan, so it's just a new truck.
Nice. And we were just talking about, like, it's crazy to see it with all the hood off and all the glass off, and you said you're going to be running it like this for a while.
Yep.
You think it's definitely feasible to be running in the desert and nothing go wrong as long as you don't get like roosted by sand or something?
Yeah, so there's so many good things about not having a front hood and fender. You get that visibility that you can see the tire when you go over a crest or do things like that, so it's just easier to drive, right? And then I love raw, like seeing the guts of the vehicle, seeing what makes it work and all that, so yeah. I like it because you still get the patina cab sitting there, but you have everything else just raw race, you know, like everything.
I mean, it looks crazy without the glass. That's a beautiful truck.
Yeah. KMC's now on board, new wheels, and you're still running the race BFGs, 40s. Inside.
Hey, you stay over here. I'm gonna go around. This is my favorite part. I'm a sucker for nice interiors.
Right. So this is a Fiberworks dash. So this is just a fiberglass dash, but we had it all wrapped and suede, all foam inserted. New panels that Morgan made, powder coated to match. Your GPS, all your stuff in the front here. This is an iPad mount that goes here. Good dead pedals, so the passenger has a good dead pedal to keep himself in, and then this third seat is like the best seat at the house.
Damn, I didn't even know there was a third seat in here.
Up high, you can see very visible. You got a good dead pedal, so it's just my favorite seat to drive in would be this middle third seat if you are a passenger. Added PSCI Parker pumpers now. All the rock lights throughout. We have, believe it or not, 32 rock lights on the truck, front and rear and inside the cab. So there's 3 zones of rock lights. And then the newest thing we're doing now is we just went to Holley EFI with the Holley Big Digital Dash. So right now we're rewiring the truck to a mil spec harness, which is what you run on a trophy truck. Just a good reference is like a regular wiring harness. Let's say all your materials you buy to wire a truck would cost you maybe like 15 to $2,000 in materials. This truck, just buying all the wire and the plugs and the the cam plugs that go through the engine bay and all that. We've got like almost $5,000 to $6,000 in just materials to build a mil spec wiring harness. So that's what we're doing right now to keep it reliable and not have to ever worry about wiring or electrical problems down the road.
Yeah, so once that's done, how long do you think you're going to be able to ride on this build before you need to do like major like fixes or upgrades? Like she should be like bulletproof almost for like a good...
Yeah, I think the rest of the season, right? So
just season, I was going to say years.
Yeah, no, because you're going to have to, well, prep-wise, so...
Yeah, no, like obviously there's going to be like the basic
forever,
prep.
Yeah. So no more upgrades needed. This is the last upgrade, is the wiring. After that is just maintenance, right?
Yeah.
So like I was saying, at the end of this year, I'll probably tear the truck apart and I'll just do a full prep again, change the uni balls, the ball joints, the heims, revalve the shocks again, just go through the truck and make sure everything's good, right? So I think I'll be able to get like a good 7 or 8 months out of the truck and then just go through everything and make sure everything's good again and then start over. But I'm not doing any more upgrades for at least 2 or 3 years. I'm just going to have fun with it, dial it in, and have a good time, Another cool feature is these glass.
Yeah, I was looking at it from right here, little like viewport almost.
Viewports to see the shocks going. Then there's rock lights in there at night. It looks cool, all lit up, and you can see the suspension. All this cage work is insane. Everything's basically incessed into the cab, so everything's so tight. They cut the cab out to recess all the cage work inside the capsule, and then the actual body is like removable. So you drill out these rivets and drill out the bottom rivets, so you can slide the cab right off, and you could drive it fully as a caged truggy looking truck, So the cab, if I do roll it, which I hope I don't, but if I do, I have an extra cab. We'll have to redo a cab and slide a new cab over it, and I'm back going again. So that's a definite benefit. We want it to be where if a catastrophic thing happened, I rolled it a couple times, take the cab off, put a new one on, and back going in a short amount of time. Yeah. Just like a trophy truck. It's just a steel cab, not a fiberglass cab you normally would have. Then we'll go out to the back and show you guys the back of it. So we added this recently, so you know how when you're racing you get nerfs sometimes, someone's going to hit you, and before this had a chance that if someone did hit me they might hit the fuel cell. So now I have a nice Nerf bar cage in the back, so I can do that. I got the Pro Eagle jack, dual spares, and a big 75-gallon fuel cell, which I used to have the fuel cell up towards the cab. Now it's all the way to the back. Got the weight right. Got all the normal race stuff, your extra oils and recovery stuff. The rear end now is a true trophy truck rear end, so you have 35 jumbo spline, trophy truck hubs, all cambered, big 4-inch housing, 30 inches of travel, big bump stops, 4 bypasses, 3.0 coilovers, new links. Wheelbase is a 133, which is a true trophy truck. 135 to 133 is what all the trophy trucks run, so wheelbase is the same. Pivots, geometry is all the same as pretty much 90% of all trophy trucks. The weight disbursement is 60% of weight in the back and 40% of weight in the front. So that's how you would build a trophy truck. A purpose-built truck would be 40-60 split, and it's hard to do that on a PreRunner because you're dealing with what you had to deal with the frame rail. This is tube chassis, right sprung weight. It feels like you're driving a trophy truck. Exactly the same, but with a steel cab. We got up here, we put a Robbie Gordon tool box that goes into that recovery case. So you can slide that in. You got your jack, big fire extinguishers. Evan Weller did the third member, so I'm running a 5:43 gear ratio now. So new gears. I used to run a 620 before, so it's a little different with 40s. Running a 543 versus a 620. The 620 ripped because it felt like you're on smaller tires, but this is more reliable and more long-lasting on the rear end. All the panels got powder coated now. Everything that can come off the truck is powder coated. Still the chassis is raw, so after a year of driving it, I am going to tear it all the way back down and powder coat the chassis. So that'll be the last final step, I guess, when I'm done. But you want to make sure everything's gone through all your bugs before you powder coat the chassis, because after that, it's there like that forever.
Yeah.
And 90% of trophy trucks I've seen are all raw. They don't really powder coat the chassis, but I'm gonna do it. I am gonna powder coat the chassis. What else? These are cool. These are all Morgan Clark. He literally molded all the sheet metal and did all the bead rolling, and then had it upholstered. He built these out of billet. This is the open and close on the dash, and this is how you close it's a cool little hinge. Windows roll up and down. They're all functional. And we just added safety latches for racing and removable window nets, so I can race it in the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's a good segue into the fact that this isn't just gonna be like a recreational toy. You're able to race it, and you are gonna be racing it hopefully in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. We're trying hopefully do Glen Helen as our first race and get our feet wet and see how the truck does in a race. I only gonna do probably 3 or 4 races a year, because I still want it to be a pre-runner as its core of it.
Yeah.
But I do want to see how it does in a race course. I'm probably gonna do it and in a way where I get my how do you say it? I'm gonna get my thrills out, and then probably not race it as much. I think I'm just gonna have some fun with it for a year or two racing, and then just make it more of a pre-runner, have fun play truck.
Yeah.
But I do want to see how well it can do in a race, you know what I mean, in some races. So.
I mean, it's nice to also like to say when you're out in the desert, people see, be like, dude, this is like race proven. I've raced it, it works. But
I want to prove myself. Actually, I want to prove the truck. I want to prove me. I know I could race a truck, but I think I want to prove to people that this truck can do pretty decent in a race, or actually maybe win a race or get a top 3 podium. That would be what I want to do before I probably stop racing it. So if I can do well in a race, I think that'll be okay. I've proven myself, proven the truck that can do well in a race, and then now let's go have fun with it. So that's what I'm doing there.
Hopefully you know me as an honest person, and this isn't me just because we're friends, but this is hands down got to be one of my favorite trucks in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like just from this walk around right now, all the details that go into it, like I said, the interior, sucker for interiors, the fact that you can remove the whole cab off of it, like the attention to detail is
all
just...
kind of, Morgan Clark and me both have an attention to detail mind frame, so every little thing was well thought out, you know? Things that we thought of as function over beauty, but then beauty at the same time. So sometimes you get function, it doesn't look good. We wanted function and beauty together, and that was the main philosophy of this build, you know? Just everything beauty, but function still, race still, like the truck needs to perform as good as it looks, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I didn't want it just to look good and then, okay, you don't take it out and do nothing with it. You guys have seen it skying through the air, going through Barstow at 115 miles an hour, like all those things I wanted to do. I want to just start checking off the list. Like I've done this with it. I've done this with the truck. I've jumped 150 feet with the truck. I've podiumed at a big race. Like all those things. So people can say, hey, this truck is so beautiful, but it also works and it does well. You know?
Yes.
The new motor is Robert Maruzzi built it, so it is a LSX 454. It is my old LSX, so we punched it out a little bit. It's now like a 460 cubic inch engine, but it has the Frankenstein heads with the big cam, big valves. We're hoping to get another 140 horsepower out of it than the stock LSX. So that's weight and then horsepower is what you want too. It weighs 5,800 pounds full of gas. If you guys want to know weight-wise, and we haven't dynoed the motor because we're still wiring the new Holly, so we're hoping to get about 550 to the wheels. That would be amazing. That would be like 800 to the crank. So.
Well, hopefully she can make it out in 2 weeks and get her legs stretched. And I mean, I'm gonna plug you myself here, but if you guys want to see this thing ripping, he does have his own YouTube channel. You want to shout out the YouTube channel? I don't want to butcher it. It's SoCal Suspension.
Yeah, SoCal
Just look up SoCal Suspension.
You'll find me, yeah.
And once this thing is up and running, I'm sure a lot of videos are going to be produced with this. And also, coming soon, Zach's own YouTube channel for the Ducky Racing truck. So
yep, that's good.
You guys are going to have a lot of content coming soon. If you guys want to see both these trucks in action, go ahead. Follow them on Instagram and YouTube.
Yep.
Thank you for the walk around, man. I'm glad we got this little exclusive.
This is it.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink